Pack leaders is here for design protecting families by protecting pack. So once we have our first code ready, we need to start thinking about version control, because as we change and modify, we could break our code. And it'd be nice if we can go back to when it was working and then start all over again, because we broke it somewhere and we can't go back and fix it, kind of thing. So this thing called Github, and let me show you how to use it, okay? And I'll link a video that kind of describes how Github works. But first, you want to go to GitHub, kind of Google GitHub desktop, and I'll put that link below. I use the visual version instead of the code version, because I don't have to memorize all these commands and codes. So anyways, download this. Once you do, you'll see something that's like this. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna create a branch, and you don't have to do this. Once I start this once, you could then what is going on here? Oh, my bad. I was like, who is this guy working on my stuff? And it was just a thing in the background. I was like, oh, okay. Thought I got hacked or something. Alright, anyways. So I'm going to create this thing called, I think I have a Bybit bot, but I'm going to make a name called leverage bot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. There it is. And you're going to have to sign in with your own account. I might need to, if you're a VA with me, I might have to pay for an account for you. So we'll see. I'm going to create a new repository, and I'm going to save it somewhere. I've kind of noticed that if I have Dropbox with the version control, it's kind of weird. So I'm gonna put in a folder that doesn't have a Dropbox. So I'm just gonna put my documents here. Wait, my documents is my Dropbox. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and put in my Dropbox anyway. Alright, so I'll put it here with my other GitHub stuff. So my trade bots. I'm just gonna pick a folder basically. Alright, I'm gonna call it leverage bot. Okay. Alright, so that's the folder I'm gonna create my repository in. I'm gonna select it, and I will handle that later. And that's pretty much it. Leverage bot. Alright, so I'm gonna create the repository. Now the way this works is that a repository or a branch is basically everything that's in that folder. So you delete, remove files, or change files in that folder. When you switch to a different branch, the whole folder will change. Okay, things will be removed and deleted. Okay, so it's kind of like a way to see everything in your folder. So let me go to my folder here, and I'm gonna make a shortcut so I can get to it quickly. Leverage tree bot. Alright, so now anything in here will be that tree bot stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and find that file that I created way back when. The ubot, where is it? Bybit sample. Alright, so here's my trade bot. I want to name it better. I want to name it bot. Alright, so leverage trade bot is actually a binary file, so you can't really edit the file if there's any inconsistencies. All I know is that something changed, and you can't really see what it is. Okay, so once I'm here, like, oh look, there's a new file that changed, then I'll say, and this is where you make comments on what you did. So created initial API command switch. Okay, so I'm gonna commit this. Once I commit this, then I can push this to the repository, and then you can work on it as a team. I'm gonna keep this code private. And to keep it private, you have to have a paid account, okay? So once it's pushed, then any changes I make can be pushed out. So now, what I can do now, I have a VA, or that's working on this too, and I'm just gonna call this, let's see here, I'm gonna call working on command API, and then I'm just gonna, you know, make a separate branch just for her. That's her right there, so she can create a branch. So when she comes onto it, anything that she does isn't gonna mess with my master. I always have that. If she, you know, goes up and messes it up, she can always go back to this branch and then start a new branch or whatever. Okay. So anything that she does is okay. So I'll passport protect this master and I'll basically manage it. Okay. Now if it's just you can do either, but you want to create a separate branch so that you don't mess with the working code. And then once this is working, then you can merge that back in. So when I'm here, I can say choose branch to merge to master. So I can say, hey, I want to choose this one here, and then merge it back in. Okay, but everything's up to date. You don't need to do it because nothing changed. Okay. All right. So once we're here, I think I'll end this video for now. Every time you make a change, let's say I'm gonna make a change I'm gonna change this to this, and I'm gonna open up a new Bot Studio here. You can make sure that you're working on the right branch, okay? So, and I made a mistake of working on the wrong branch, and I got confused. I thought I edited this code or fixed it, and why is it still broken? And why is it? I was like, oh, I was working on the wrong branch. So, let me see if I can find a better video that explains it better. Okay. Alright, so now I loaded up new U-Bot, and I'm going to go to open up the new branch. Alright, so here's my code. So anything I change, we can collaborate and work on it together. Let's just say I created something, and let's say this messed it up. Okay, so I messed it up. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe I committed the change, and somewhere along the line I messed it up. So I made a change here, and I need to save. Okay, and I go, oh, there's something changed. Messed up change. And then let's say, hey, you know what? I don't know where I messed it up at. There's tons of code in here. I want to revert back. So what I'm going to do is close this. And then I could bring that back up by reverting back to the old branch. Alright, and I could open it back up. And so you have to make sure you close it, because if you don't close your U-Bot, it's still open, so it thinks you're still on using the other one. So you have to make sure you kind of reset everything. Close everything, reset everything, and then reopen that master, because I saved it, right? But then a branch changes the whole directory, the whole file that's in there, and everything else that's in here. Okay, so now I can go back to my old file without the messed up set of stuff. So I open it again now because I revert to the master branch, and the messed up stuff shouldn't be there. Alright, it's gone. Alright, so let's say I switch mid opening, see what happens. So now I switch, it's going to change everything now. And then I'm going to go ahead and open it up again. I'm going to close this. Or maybe I can open it up again. I don't know. See what happens. I don't want to make any changes. Let's reopen it. Will the messed up thing be back? So this is my messed up version now. So you have to reopen it, okay? So that's how GitHub lets you kind of change things and revert back. And then once you, you know, you made some changes where you made some changes here, you want to go back to this initial switch, you can revert back to this commit, and you can kind of go one version backward instead of switching up the whole branch. You can just go back to whichever branch or version that you document it. Okay, so you want to kind of make useful document changes. So when you make a change, say, hey, added commands. What did I do? Created commands to connect to Bybit, and you can say create command and then cancel command, something like that, and then you can commit and say, oh, okay, so you can kind of go back to the history and say, oh, I know what I did, and here's my notes of what happened with this change. Okay, so this way we can all collaborate. I can pull and update my stuff, and we all will be in sync. Now I think once we make an update, we have to make sure we publish it into the server so that everyone else has it too. And then we want to so we can push our changes, and then if we need to kind of get the latest update, we need to do a pull request, I believe. Let's see, there's a pull request. Yeah, there's a pull here. So once it's updated and it checks like, hey, you have an update, we can do a pull request, and it'll pull everything into it, all the history, all the branches, and then we can say, okay, everything's now up to date. Okay? All right, cool. Thanks.